Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Cyrus and this is Tuntum Network in Accra, Ghana. Be sure to subscribe if today is your first time watching my video, and also click on the bell to receive prompts to watch all my previous videos and subsequent ones. So, since yesterday, I have received at least 3 messages of an alert of an incoming walk. I don't know whether to just call it a peaceful walk or whether it's a protest or a demonstration yet. But it is obviously the gathering of concerned Ghanaians for the purpose of expressing their displeasure towards certain happenings within Ghana, ladies and gentlemen. So it is a flyer that has on it a couple of different statements and hashtags. This is it. I cannot confirm the organizers of this event at this particular time, but I want to believe Ghana Lives Matter could be the organizing body. The event is meant to take place at the Obra Spot at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle on the 9th of August 2025. That is 4 days away on Saturday. The flyer is titled, "We Are Not Safe Walk," with illegal and undocumented immigrants must go written right under it. And the following statements are also printed on the flyer. Ladies and gentlemen, save our retail businesses. Save our next generation. Save our women. End Ashawo now. Let our laws work. End kidnappings. End armed robbery. End ritual murders. End fraud now. And save our lives. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are just a little objective and forthright with the truth, you will just know that this whole exercise is targeted at one group of people. And I find it quite interesting looking at all the different people who are saying stuff on the internet, especially on social media. Therefore, I want you to come with me as I look into the reason for this event and why you should or should not consider participating in it. Let's jump in. If it's credible geopolitics, you come to me on Tuntum Network. But if it's doors for home security, you look for Doormaster. Doormaster has it all. Interior and exterior doors, back and side doors. They have high ceiling and fingerprint doors, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, they have doors for the 1% elite in society. Those are doors of statement. It speaks on your behalf. They have branches across Accra and the rest of the country. Call them today if quality doors at competitive prices is your interest. 0542 745 222 or 0500 212 447. You can call them now. Thank me later. When you look strictly on the flyer alone, the overall idea you will perceive from this "we are not safe" statement will refer to the insecurity of the people that live in Ghana. And that's just the face value. But if you have followed up on what's happening on the internet recently, especially on social media, you also know that there is a connotation of a particular group of people in relation to this statement. You know it, I know it. Let's not play games with it or waste anybody's time. Now, I find that statement to be very relative depending on your location and economic situation, because many people in Ghana feel very safe. Ghana generally is a safe place to live, and therefore, in the right context, it is in reference to other Ghanaians whose lives are endangered one way or the other by way of where they live or the streets they use often. The reality is, ladies and gentlemen, there are certain places in the country that has become quite dangerous to move around, especially at night, and certain foreign or irregular occurrences that are becoming common of late. This is where the problem is. And in all honesty, the overall security in the last few months in Ghana hasn't been the best. If you're objective, that is a fair conclusion. There are a lot of things stated on the flyer that are actually happening on a daily basis. I have to be honest. So let's deal with them one at a time. Illegal and undocumented immigrants in Ghana. That is one of them. That is a genuine issue to discuss. This is because there are tens of thousands of non-Ghanaians in the country who are completely unknown. They are unknown, and I mean they have no printed identification to prove who they are and why they are here. Now, most of such people came into the country through unapproved routes. They have no identification whatsoever We don't even know what their real names are. We have no record of who they were in their home countries, ladies and gentlemen. But the immigration system in Ghana makes it possible for a non-Ghanaian to be known within the country. If you didn't know, I want to bring this to your attention. Ghana provides two types of identification systems. We have the Ghana card that is given to citizens of the country, and then we have the foreigners Ghana card. The foreigners Ghana card is given to all non-citizens of this country, and that is mostly mandatory, ladies and gentlemen, those who live often in this country. So if you are a non-citizen and you don't have a non-citizen Ghana card, you become suspicious. We don't know who you are. Therefore, going on a walk or protest against such people is the right thing to do, but must be done right. This is where, if we have to do it, we have to get it done right. The walk must be ultimately directed towards the law enforcement agencies to handle. It cannot therefore be a walk or protest where you go directly towards foreigners or their shops or foreign individuals. We should not do that, ladies and gentlemen. And I love the fact that they stated on the flyer that let our laws work. That is exactly how it's supposed to be. The flyer also says save our retail businesses, and again it must be enforced by law enforcement agencies. The problem I'm seeing with many of the items on the flyer doesn't really have to do with Ghanaians going after non-citizens per se, but after the requisite law enforcement agencies. Please hear me out. For instance, when it comes to the influx of illegal and undocumented people in the country, that is on the immigration service to handle. When it comes to non-citizens engaging in the retail industry, that's on the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, to handle. The ashawo or prostitution industry, kidnappings, armed robbery, ritual murders, and the rest are all for the police service to handle. Therefore, this walk or this silent protest, if I may call it so, must be directed towards the different legally mandated agencies in the country. If that is the purpose for the walk, then ladies and gentlemen, I will admonish all Ghanaians, including myself, to join in. We have the obligation to force the hand of our state institutions to get to work. This is how democracy is practiced. The Inspector General of Ghana's police should be held accountable for when crime is increasing. The Comptroller General of Immigration Service of Ghana must be held accountable for the issues that is related to non-Ghanaians loitering on our streets and dealing in all manner of illegal enterprises. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how we ought to do it. Let's not just walk and drum and chant for nothing. If we are going to walk or protest, let's do it differently from the rest of the chaos that is happening on the other parts of the world. Let's make it effective. That is what I'm ultimately saying. And this is how I suggest we can do it. The walk should be headed to the office of the IGP of Ghana and to the office of the CGP of Ghana. The walk should also be headed to the office of the president of GUTA. If we choose not to use the legal framework to enforce the laws, but do it on our own, ladies and gentlemen, two things are most likely going to happen. The first is we will most likely end up in the same situation we protested against after a few days. I guarantee you this, and nothing would have changed. Or it could easily turn into a violent protest that could affect both protesters and the people who they went against. Ladies and gentlemen, this could even spill over to innocent people and their properties. This is why, in my opinion, such a walk or protest must be done with the letters of consent addressed to the heads of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, the Inspector General of Police, and to the Comptroller of the Immigration Service of Ghana. In my opinion, this should be the primary focus for the walk, because this is why those officers are paid. I know you love this country and the peace we have and don't want any foreign group or persons to destroy what we have built here. I love this country too, bro. I love this country too. I believe Ghana is the best country to live, whether for family, to raise kids, or to work. And I know these challenges we have can be resolved. That's why I want to use my platform to say this to the organizers of this walk. Please listen to me. Anger doesn't solve any problem anywhere in the world. Agitations are acceptable, but the solution isn't in the fury of the agitations itself. Ladies and gentlemen, the solution lies in being strategic to push the right buttons for the right people to be activated to do the right things. If you didn't get me, rewind and listen to it again. You may think Ghana police and immigration services are corrupt, but trust me, I've lived in many African countries. They are better in so many ways than most. They are so far one of the reasons why we have the peace we have in this country. So let's rather deploy them to do what they are commissioned to do for the sake of fairness and for peace, ladies and gentlemen. When we hold the right people accountable, we'll end up building a solid nation we can all enjoy. Trust me, this route is better than the other options. I rest my case on this. But thank you for taking time to watch this, and please make sure to share it with as many people as you can. God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Remember to subscribe if you haven't done that already. I'll come your way again with another one very soon. Until then, God bless you, and it's bye-bye for now.